Already, I have purchased this quad for $250. I did check. I went and drove about 30 minutes, talked to the owner, and he said they just stopped running one day. I checked the oil level. The oil level looks good. Tires look good. Overall shape looks good. The steering's a little off. It has no battery. I'm pretty sure carburetor needs to be replaced. There's a lot of hardware that's missing along this fairing, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 6 little bolts here that I need to replace or find in order to install. So currently I don't have a battery on this, so I don't know what's wrong with it. I will walk you into detail of all the small little things that it has wrong with it, and then I'll plug a battery and we'll start troubleshooting on this bad boy. Alright, so starting off, I guess I'm going to work my way from the top to bottom. Have this little cable here that goes from the switches, like the kill switch and then the ignition switch, or start switch. It's not even fixed up to this. And the alignment of the steering wheel is a little off, like it's off here and it's straight over here, so I need to fix that. The hardware that I was talking about that's missing along the fairing, we got one bolt right here, and then these two. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, and then there's a couple under the seats for 9 and 10. And so that's just what I've seen so far that's wrong with this quad. I had a little, something's wrong here. It's got a little broken piece, so I'm gonna have to weld that, check it out. Another really obvious thing that was wrong with this quad was this being loose like this, and this little plastic fairing not being attached on this side. So I'm gonna have to do some work on there. It's also missing the sprocket cover on this side, so I have to replace that. Carb doesn't look too old, but I don't mess with these because these are like a knockoff brand and they really don't last too long, maybe a year. And if you try to fix them and clean them, then when you put on them, they don't work. Also had a little, the fuel isn't good. It looks good, looks clear. It's not amber or yellow, but it is leaking a little bit. So I'm gonna have to replace these hoses coming out of the tank. And another thing that was wrong with it is the brake does not work. As per this little hose was leaking all the oil from the cylinder. So I have to replace this hose going from this cylinder here to the caliper down here. All the tires hold air except for the rear left, so I'm gonna have to find out what's wrong with that. So it's in a little bit of a rough shape, but I think it still could be saved, so I'm gonna give it a good old try. Alright, so at this point I have installed the battery. I had no battery in here, so I just put the terminals on there. I just kind of did that number. I still got to put a fuse in between here, but right now they're disconnected, so I got battery power. I looked at the seat. It looks in very good condition. I didn't see anything major on there. I did see that it's missing the 2 bolts that hold this plastic piece together. So I was would have to find something to replace that. Right now with the battery on, I'm gonna see what it can do. So I'm gonna turn this on. Here, the ignition on, and I do have the neutral light coming on. No lights over here. Let's check the rear. Yeah, there's no light down here, so that's good. All right, we'll see if at least the starter kicks on. So looks like I hold the brake here. Nothing. They put this brake, maybe it has to do with this other brake. There it is. Alright, so it does rotate, so I'm comfortable with that. So now we'll start troubleshooting other stuff just to make sure that everything is correct. So at this point, I know the starter works. Starter solenoid works. Now I'm gonna, battery's working good. I got all my lights indications. So now I'm gonna check for spark here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this out. If I didn't mention, this is a 125cc ATV, 2021. So it's not too old, but it does have a lot of little details that need to be fixed. So it looks a little, I guess it was running rich at the time. So plug this in, just connected. So now we're going to test. This is how I do it. Everybody has their own way of doing it. I'm going to put it right about there. So hopefully you'll be able to see it here. I'm going to have to press brake. There it is. So we're checking to see if we have spark. Ignition is on. Top brake is on. Alright, check it out. So spark looks pretty good. So at this time I'm going to be installing a fuse on this. So I'm going to disconnect it. There it is. It's like a little slot where you can drop it in. Just make sure you're not touching anything that's ground, otherwise you might get shocked. So there it is. And boom, there's the fuse. I'll be replacing the carburetor here. So I got 2 bolts, and I'm replacing the hoses and fuel filter as it's currently leaking right there. So I replace all these hoses and the carburetor, and hopefully after that I'll give it a shot, see if I can get it started. Alright, so I have replaced the carburetor, I have replaced the hoses. Had a little bit of fuel, but I guess I leaked it overnight. Because I smelt it in the garage, it was pretty strong. So hopefully now that I replace the hoses, it's not going to be leaking anymore. So I'm going to put some fuel in there. Do that much just to verify it's not currently leaking anywhere. Seems like it isn't. I'm Let me see if there's fuel at the filter. If it's flowing at least to the carburetor. Side. Inspecting for leaks right now. There is fuel in the carb, I believe. It is flowing. So at this point I have fuel, have spark, and I have a brand new carburetor and have put the brand new battery in there. I think it's time for a test. See if it runs. All right. Close the cap for the fuel. That's just enough fuel to test it out. Fuel cap is really dry. Probably need to lube it. All right, so at this point my ignition is on, my neutral light is on, my kill switch is ready to run. I got my front brake installed. I got my rear brake, and I haven't put the choke on. I should, but I'm gonna try without the choke real quick. Nothing there. So I usually don't try to give it too much if it doesn't go right away. I'm gonna put the choke up. And I'm gonna verify everything else is good. There we go. Oh, it looks like it tried to run. All right. So now I'm going to put the choke down. So it's kind of got it to run a little bit. Also, my battery might not be fully charged like I wanted it to. Let's try it out one more time. See if it works. Oh, it's running pretty good now. See how it idles? It's idling pretty good. If I let go of the brake, let's see if it'll go forward. It's right on the money, to be honest with you. Oh, it's great. Awesome. Alright, I'm just going to turn it off. Alright, so we got it running now. So there's a few more details we got to fix about this quad. What's going to be this harness here. This wire that's all loose. You got to button up this footwell, put the cover for the chain sprocket, and align the steering here. All right, and I think tying up a few bolts here and there, and I think she'll be good to go. All right, I'm going to start working all those pieces. I have the cover for the chain sprocket. I'm going to start to align the wheels, and I'll go from there. Using these little zip ties here. Try to run it under, then put one zip tie in here. This. And I usually take it all the way to close to shaft here, stem. There, so it's kind of nice and tight there. It doesn't look all the way out. And obviously, I'm going to clip these two zip ties. Try to get them as tight as possible, that way they don't create a sharp end or people get cut. Turn to that. And so that looks a little bit better. Alright, so here I have these couple wires here that are sticking out. They're kind of hanging in this area, and I just want to tuck them in up there. I don't like anything hanging out like this. Except for the star wire, I can't really do much about that, but what I like to do is kind of tuck this all the way up. Same kind of concept, use a zip tie here to clean it all out. Just make it look a little better. Not perfect, but better than it was. And now we're just gonna clip this little thing. There we go. Looks a lot better. Alrighty, so the problem here that I have, obviously with steering, as you can tell, when I turn left, this tire almost touches this metal here, and when I turn the other side, this one's not even close. So when I noticed when I was right there in the middle, it's not even centered correctly. It's kind of hard to see, but so I'm going to adjust. So right now, as it stands, it should be straight, but this tire is all the way left, and this one is a little bit left. So I'm going to be adjusting these real quick by using these little arms. So I'm going to loosen these two here. Then I'm going to adjust this one, and as well as this one too. I think it's already. So I've removed this hose from the rear cylinder and the caliper, and I found that it had a leak. It was rubbing. I just had it. Let me. It was somewhere around here where I saw that it was rubbing and was leaking. So anyways, I replaced one, a used one that I had, and now it's actually the brakes actually work. So I replaced the hose, and then I bled the caliper, and this time it is actually working. So I'm gonna press a brake and try it out. So I'm gonna press a brake here and try to push it, and I can tell that it is definitely working. So that pretty much sums it up on this quad. I'm gonna just run it one more time and just check it out. Alrighty, she is all finished up. So what we did, the work we did on this bike was we replaced the carburetor, battery, fuse under the seat, then the rear brake copper hose that was leaking oil. Obviously we topped off the brake fluid and then bled the system. Other stuff that we did to this bike was we adjusted the arms in the front. They were both off and it was kind of crooked, and we kind of tightened up the exhaust as it was loose. Other than that, she needs a good cleaning. She's really dusty right now, and I think that's gonna sum this one up. I'm gonna run it for a little bit. I have very little fuel in there, so I'm just gonna start it right up just to show what it's doing. So we want to turn on the ignition. We get the neutral light, then the kill switch, put it on to run. Then I come to the other side and step on the brake here and try it out and see if it runs. Let's go.